Today is an exciting day because I'm here at my son's high school where he is being inducted into the National Honor Society.
Noah Guthrie.
Several things have me reminiscing about when I was graduating from high school and trying to decide what career path I was going to choose. All this reminiscing has been spurred on by being at the high school the other day for Noah's induction into the National Honor Society, and just watching those juniors walk across the stage, watching the senior officers who were speaking. And I remember when I taught high school and the high school graduation time would come along and all those kids were graduating. They're excited to be out of high school. Most were excited because they're going to go off to college. And I remember having conversations with students about what they were going to do after high school. What career path were they going to start pursuing? And on a few occasions, I had students who would come and ask me whether or not they should be a teacher. And even today, even though I'm teaching middle school, I still get that question a lot from the parents of high school students about to graduate, or from other students, from their kids who have questions about what it really means to be a teacher. So I got to thinking, how would I advise a young person who came to me and said that they were considering a career in education? And I also got to thinking, what would my colleagues have to say about that? So let's see what they have to say.
Someone asked me about a career in education, I would say they should consider all their options and only go into that if they really are motivated by intrinsic values like spending time with kids, not vacation time and how much vacation time you're going to get, or obviously money or benefits, because the only way it's worth it is if you actually enjoy it when you come every day. That's what I would say.
Then the key word there is career. If you're going to be in it for the long haul, you need to make sure that you understand the big picture. And then understand what your expected outcomes are. Make sure that you know exactly what it is that you're working towards. Be willing to evaluate what you do on a year-to-year basis. And then the other piece of advice I think I would give is make sure that you have a support system. It would be good to have a support system both within the school and outside of the school. I think if you can have a good support system, both inside and outside of the school, if you can understand what the big picture is, and if you can have some understand what your expected outcomes are, I think you can do a good job in the field of education.
Well, be honest.
Okay.
That's what this is all about, is being honest.
And it depends what state you're in. Because coming from different states, I have different viewpoints.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you want me to answer now?
Sure.
Okay, so my the answer to Mr. Guthrie's question about the profession of teaching. So I had 8 children, 4 of my own and 4 stepchildren, and my one daughter was it's one of those careers where I really find it rewarding, and you have to be passionate about what you're doing, I feel, to be a very successful teacher. I have different viewpoints coming from teaching in Pennsylvania and teaching in North Carolina, positives and negatives of each part of the career. here's the good thing. Every career choice you choose, there's going to be positive and negatives. But I truly believe teaching kind of outweighs the negatives. I am always rewarded daily with the aha moment I see on their faces. There's days I am aggravated, but those aha moments are the most rewarding things that I feel that a teacher can receive every day. I need to work on that. And it is a challenging profession, but no 2 days are ever alike, and that's what I really like about it. I cannot say every day is just like yesterday. It's so wonderful, the fact that I believe it's exciting, invigorating, and I like to learn every day myself. The students teach me, I teach them, and that's the most rewarding thing about education.
One thing I've learned, and what I would tell someone who's pursuing a career in education, is to not get discouraged, that you're always going to have students who struggle, and instead of getting discouraged by their scores or by your team scores or anything like that, to kind of use that as motivation to find new resources and tools for them, because they're out there, and it's very easy to get discouraged when you don't see that growth, but to keep trying and try new things.
Flexibility is important when coming in. Always be cautious of that. And I would just advise them to just have fun and go in it with a plan, but knowing, like I said, the plan may require adjustments. And just keep the students' needs first. If you do that, the years will go by so fast because you are always growing, because the students' needs are always changing, and you'll have fun.
I think you really have to make sure that you can reflect on what you're doing before you react, because sometimes we misunderstand, and I think email tone has caused a lot of issues that wouldn't happen if it was face-to-face, and not be afraid to pick up the phone and build those bridges with parents, because we have to show that we're on the same side as parents, and that's a difficult thing to do when you're young. The other thing is, you'll see lots of things come and go in education, but you figure out that the basic idea of wanting to teach comes from a motivation far beyond money.
That you really need to love what you're planning on doing and be informed about what it all entails, but make sure you're doing it for the love of doing it.
Make sure that you truly have a love for all children before you make a decision to go into education.
Very good.
You don't always get the cream of the crop. And you have to love what you're doing. Otherwise, it's going to be horrible for you and the students.
To save your money, because you're going to be poor, and to pick a subject and a grade level that you actually enjoy teaching.
And I can use, I guess, why I got into teaching. I really have a strong passion, for helping the youth. So I would advise anybody who decides to teach, you have to love it and be passionate about it, because your paycheck might not make you the happiest if you're, one of those people, who's chasing a dollar, but I really enjoy watching the youth grow.
I would say to really understand what the world of education looks like before getting into it, and get some experience, volunteer in a school. If it's a young person out of college with a degree, substitute for a while before going back to get a certification. That was the path I took, and so I had somewhat of an idea of what I was, getting a professional degree in. It's very easy to think that you know everything about teaching because everyone's had 13 years in school. So, I think a lot of people that take ed classes and become teachers are surprised when it's different because they had one viewpoint of it, and then you get into it and it might be different than
Okay, if a young person came to me and shared me that they had the desire to become an educator, I've had this happen. My daughter, and this is, was very honest with her. I said, "Why? Why do you want to do it? You just got to." She was around me all her life, from kindergarten all the way up to high school. You saw what was going on in the classroom. The pay, you have no control. So here's the bottom line. If you don't have a passion for it, why are you pursuing it? You have to have anything you're doing, particularly education, not just education. If that's your passion and you feel strongly called to it, I would not say don't do it. I would say go for it. Just know, just like in any field you're going into, that's what you're going to start out with. Just make sure that's what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with education. We need a lot of great teachers. We have great teachers already, but if it's your passion, go for it. Because if your heart is in it, then you're going to do your best to try to educate the kids to the highest level. And that's it. I would tell them, hey, I would not tell them don't go through it because of the things that I had to deal with. I would say, formulate your own opinions. But if you ask me, I would probably share with you some stories and say, now, here's the things that you will have to deal with. The changing of the policies, the changing for the curriculum, work hours, grading papers, dealing with parents, meetings, and etc. That comes with any job. There's responsibilities. But you have to look at it. What is your desire? What is your heartfelt desire for as your career? And that's what I would tell them. Go for it if it's your desire. Don't do it because of someone else. Don't do it because historically you have grandfather, grandmother, dad, and mom was in education. If that's your passion, then do it.
I don't think I can answer that question any better than how Coach Tyson answered this himself. You've got to be passionate about what you're doing. You've got to really want to do it. And when you really want to do it, then you'll put up with all the other stuff. I was talking to some student teachers about what's the biggest surprise that they have encountered now that they're getting a taste of what it's really like to be a teacher. And one of the things that I repeatedly hear from student teachers or even young teachers who are in their first, second year is how much time outside of class is required. You have to photocopy papers, you have to grade papers, you have to make plans, but it's impossible to gauge how much time that's going to take until you've actually had to do it. If you're passionate about teaching, none of that will matter. And I've done several other things in my life. I have been in and out of education. This is my third stint in education. I started in 1990 and taught for 4 years and left to pursue another calling. And between the time in school to prepare for that calling and actually fulfilling that, that was from 94 to 2008. So there's 14 years devoted to that calling, with 1.5 years of, I take that back, it's 2.5 years of teaching part-time and full-time in the middle of that calling. And then in 2008, I came back to education. And I had a friend tell me about 6-7 months into this third stint of teaching, he said, I have never seen you so fulfilled. Listening to you talk, there's just a different passion about you. And that's true. I've always had a teacher's heart. I've always approached everything from a coaching/educator standpoint, and this is where I belong. So I've put up with all of the stuff that's not fun that come along with this job. And so whatever your job is, teacher, computer programmer, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, whatever you choose to be, make sure you're passionate about it. thank you for tuning in. Again, a big shout out to my peeps for being willing to be part of this and to give their opinion. Please give us all a like, a comment, a share, and a subscribe down below. And as always give somebody a reason to hope and learn something new every day.